영어 동화 세상 리틀팍스.
Allie on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 1, Party Plans.
And here she is, the birthday girl, Ali Zuba!
The DJ announced. The crowd cheered as Ali entered the large ballroom.
Thank you all for coming to my party!
She twirled around, showing off her new outfit.
Happy birthday!
Everyone cried, but from somewhere in the back of the room, a voice called,
Ali Zuba!
Ali kept twirling.
Ali Zuba!
The voice said more sharply. Ali's eyes flew open, abruptly ending her daydream.
Ali Zuba Delta 5X of Australia!
Her father called from the main control room. Her family's spaceship was docked on planet Dorpio 10 for her parents' latest peace mission. As Australians with astral minds, they flew all over the universe. They solved major problems like severe droughts, food shortages, even wars between galaxies.
We're back!
Ali's dad called.
Our mission was a success, so we'll be taking off for home soon.
Okay!
Ali called back. She threw her voice so it would sound as if it were coming from another part of the ship.
I'm just finishing up my homework!
Ali picked up her tablet and continued planning her party.
Dad won't come looking for me if he thinks I'm doing homework.
She thought. But seconds later, her father burst into her sleep quarters.
Homework, huh?
Dad took Ali's tablet from her.
You should watch what you think, daughter. You're not the only Australian who can read minds.
Ali sighed.
I was hoping you were too far away.
I was close enough for you to throw your voice to trick me. So I was close enough to read your mind.
He sat beside her, his expression softening.
Mom and I are happy that you've mastered throwing your voice, and your levitation skills are improving. But you're past the age when most Australians start going on solo missions. You need to focus on your studies to prepare.
Ali nodded.
Okay, can I have my tablet back now?
I'm afraid not. Our astral minds are revered all over the universe because we use them to help others, not plan parties.
But parties make people happy, Dad! Doesn't that count?
Not as much as keeping the universe in peaceful balance,
Dad said.
Your mother and I have made up our minds. It's time for you to be more responsible.
Fine.
Ali sighed.
Send me to planet Gray Zone. I can teach those dull Gray Zoners to be more colorful, like me!
Ali's mom joined them.
We're going to start with a simpler task. The communication device in Escape Pod Alpha needs repair. Fixing it is a skill you'll need when you start going on solo missions.
Escape pods were kept on Australians' motherships in case things got dangerous, and a quick getaway was required. Ali moaned.
Ugh, repairs are boring.
Mom folded her arms and stared at her. Ali didn't need to read her mind to know she would never win this argument.
Fine, I'll fix the comm device.
She walked to her closet.
I'll change out of my pajamas and then get started.
A few minutes later, Ali emerged in a brightly colored outfit. She wore her favorite boots, which made her feet look especially big.
That's your idea of work clothes?
Ali's mother asked. Ali twirled around.
Isn't this a cute outfit?
Her mother sighed.
It's not very practical.
It's fine for you to wear a boring old uniform, Mom, but I have to express my personality. It's what I'm known for.
We want you to be known for doing good works throughout the universe,
Mom said.
When we were your age, we had already been on solo missions.
She held out a tablet.
Here's the manual for fixing the comm device. Take a look and let me know if you have any questions.
Ali pretended to read through it for a moment.
It seems simple enough.
Mom frowned.
You know how to check the meters? And make sure you unplug the...
I know all that stuff.
Allie rolled her eyes and flipped her tentacles.
See you later.
As she walked to the area on the ship where the pods were stored, Allie forced herself to think about homework. She didn't want her parents detecting her real thoughts right now. But as soon as she was out of range, those thoughts came spilling out.
I can't believe they don't trust me with something as simple as fixing a comm device. I'll show them they're wrong. I am totally ready for real Australian missions.
Allie on Earth. Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 2. Tripped Up. Allie intended to start working right away. But after she stepped into Escape Pod Alpha, she quickly got distracted.
I haven't been in this pod in so long.
It had a comfortable sleeping unit along with some fun entertainment options. But when she looked at the meal-o-matic that dispensed food, she saw it was nearly empty.
Looks like the food supply is running low. I'd better remind Mom to refill it when I'm done.
Allie grabbed one of the last bottles of Juba juice from the machine and took a swig.
Still bubbly.
She turned the repair manual on and got ready to work, but there was something bothering her.
It's too quiet in here.
She murmured. She pressed a button on the dashboard and the pod's computer instantly lit up.
Alpha,
Allie commanded.
play some fun music.
An upbeat song filled the pod.
Satisfactory choice?
The computer asked.
Yes, I love this song.
Allie jumped up to dance around. When the song ended, she sighed.
I guess it's time to get to work.
It's long past time,
The computer said. Allie scowled.
Are you going to start nagging me too? Besides, if you're so smart, why can't you fix the comm device yourself?
Repair of communication devices is beyond my capabilities.
The computer's lights dimmed as it put itself to sleep.
That's fine.
Allie mumbled.
I don't need your help or anyone else's. I'll have this comm device working in no time.
She took another sip of Juba juice and sat down to work. A short while later, Allie had taken the comm device apart, and all the pieces sat in front of her.
Ugh,
She pushed her tentacles out of her face.
that wasn't very hard. And I found the problem. The fuse was blown. Now all I have to do is put the device back together.
The computer lit up.
Be sure to consult the manual before reassembling comm device.
Thanks, Alpha.
Allie replied.
But I took it apart so I can totally put it back together.
She snorted.
My parents will be sorry they called me irresponsible.
The computer made a noise that sounded like... Before long, Allie had finished reassembling the device.
See, Alpha?
She proudly flipped her tentacles.
I told you I didn't need the manual.
Standing by for test of communication device.
The computer said.
Here we go!
Allie turned the device on, expecting it to light up. But nothing happened. She tried again. Still nothing.
That's funny.
Allie murmured.
I don't know what's wrong.
Scanning area.
The computer clicked and clacked.
Detecting nanochip receiver on the floor. Repeat. Detecting nanochip.
I heard you the first time.
Allie checked the floor by her feet. The computer was right. A part from the device was lying there.
Oops.
She didn't want to admit it out loud, but it was time to consult the manual. As Allie reached across the dashboard to grab the tablet, Her arm knocked into the Juba juice. The bottle tipped, spilling sticky juice all over the manual and the dashboard. The tablet sparked while the dashboard fizzled and popped.
Oh no!
Allie cried.
What have I done?
Sensors indicate you spilled Juba juice and the...
I know what I did!
Allie snapped.
I need to know how to undo it!
The computer clicked, but Allie cut it off before it could speak.
No, don't tell me! I'll figure it out myself! But first, I'd better clean up this mess!
She hurried to get a towel, but somehow the toe of one of her boots got stuck on a rung of the chair. Allie lost her balance, and her hand slammed into the control lever. She gasped as she heard the escape pod's engine spark to life. Then, whoosh! The pod started to zoom away from the mothership.
Alpha!
Allie shouted.
Stop this thing! Get me back to my parents' ship! Fast!
Unable to comply. Escape pod is unable to redock with the mothership at this time.
What?
Allie blinked, trying to understand what she was hearing.
Then call my parents so I can ask them what to do!
Command does not compute. Communication device is offline.
Oh no!
Allie cried, watching in horror as the pod hurtled into deep space. Allie on Earth. Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 3. A Hard Landing. The escape pod shot through space. Allie kept trying to turn it around, but nothing worked. Then, suddenly, things got worse.
Warning, low fuel.
The computer said.
How low?
Allie snapped.
Must land to refuel.
Are you kidding me? Ugh!
Allie groaned.
Where's the closest planet to refuel and get parts to fix the comm device?
The computer whirred.
Nearest planet with intelligent life is Earth. Atmosphere, oxygen. Dominant life form, human, also called Earthling. Temperament, intelligent, creative, sometimes friendly, but often dangerous. Previous attempts to make contact with humans, unsuccessful. Deemed too dangerous.
Allie gulped.
Dangerous?
Some humans are curious about visitors from other realms, but most are suspicious and respond with aggression.
Yikes!
Allie had never heard of a life form that didn't treat Australians with deep respect.
Engage Meld Medallion to activate human-shaped camouflage for protection.
Phew!
Allie said.
I can camouflage myself to look like a human! Okay, Alpha, let's land on Earth!
Allie watched as the pod approached the pretty blue and green planet.
Earth matches my outfit!
She thought.
It can't be too bad.
The pod flew low over a deserted sandy area before touching down behind some trees in a park. Allie slipped on her Meld Medallion, a necklace that contained special technology. It allowed her to blend in with other life forms. She expected to feel different instantly, but instead she felt just like herself, until she looked in the mirror.
Wow!
Her tentacles had been transformed into red, curly hair, and her nose was now sharp and pointy. But the most surprising change was to her feet.
Ugh! My feet look so small now.
Small feet are the least of your problems.
The computer said. Allie ignored the comment and went outside. She used her Meld Medallion to shrink the pod and camouflage it among the trees.
Don't go anywhere, Alpha. I might need to escape quickly from this place.
As she stepped out from behind the trees, Allie saw some posters about local attractions along the path. Two humans, a mother and daughter, were looking at one of the posters. Allie tried to read their minds but couldn't hear anything. She thought.
Maybe my mind-reading ability doesn't work here.
She lifted her arms in a traditional Australian greeting.
Hello!
The little girl spun around.
An alien, Mommy! A real one!
Allie froze. But the mother smiled.
That's just a friendly teenager, honey. Wave and say hello.
After the humans walked away, Allie went over to look at the posters. One showed a picture of a large glass building with a Graysonian spaceship floating above it. Intrigued, Allie held up her Meld medallion to translate the poster. It read, "Visit the world-famous Sandville UFO Museum."
That sounds like the perfect place to find parts and fuel.
Allie thought. After walking around for 30 minutes, Allie still hadn't found the museum. She'd been on hot planets before, but this one seemed particularly warm with a blazing sun and no clouds. She felt hot and hungry. Just then, she caught a delicious scent.
Food!
She jumped up and followed the scent to a busy street with a crowded restaurant. A sign read, "Pepe's Diner, grand opening today." Allie took a deep breath and went inside. To her relief, nobody looked at her in surprise.
Good!
She thought.
My Meld medallion is working!
A waitress handed her a menu.
Only one seat is left at the counter.
Allie sat down and opened the menu. She wanted to use her Meld medallion to translate it, but the waitress was watching her closely.
I'll just have one of everything!
Allie blurted out.
You got enough money? That'll cost hundreds of dollars.
Dollars?
Allie shook her head.
I don't have any of those.
The waitress took the menu back.
Sorry, no handouts.
Allie was confused.
I didn't ask you for a hand. I asked for food.
If you want anything in this world, honey, you've got to work for it.
Oh!
Allie finally understood. Unlike on other planets where food was free, Earthlings charged money for nourishment.
I can pay for my meal with good deeds. Do you have a war that you need stopped? Natural resources that need protection?
Ha ha.
The waitress said, but she wasn't laughing.
Like I said, you need to find a job.
How?
Look for help wanted signs.
Allie grinned.
No problem. Responding to cries for help is what we Australians do best.
She leaped up and darted out the door. Allie on Earth. Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 4. A New Job.
It will be easy to find someone to help.
Allie thought as she walked through Sandville's downtown area. But Allie didn't spot any help wanted signs, nor did she pick up any cries for help. In fact, she saw hardly any humans on the street. Most of them were zooming by in vehicles. Finally, she spotted a man walking a four-legged animal with fluffy fur. She tried to read the man's thoughts, but could pick up only a few words.
Milk, bread, dog biscuits.
It didn't sound like a cry for help, but Allie hurried toward him anyway.
Greetings. I am Ali Zuba of Australia. Can I be of help to you?
The man scooped up his animal and backed away. Then he hurried off, muttering,
"Kids these days are so weird."
A little farther down the street, a woman stepped out of a store and headed to her vehicle. Allie tried to read her thoughts, but once again the words and images were fuzzy. Allie sighed. Finding a human to help was going to be more challenging than she first thought, especially since her astral mind abilities weren't working well on this strange planet. But as she glimpsed her reflection in a large plate glass window, something occurred to her. Her new human hair was long and thick.
Hey,
She thought.
maybe my hair is creating problems.
She tucked her hair behind her ears and listened again. This time a voice rang clearly in her head.
I need help. I can't do everything myself.
Allie looked around. The cry was coming from the building right in front of her. She held up her meld medallion to read the sign on the window, Ray's Diner. She hurried inside. Unlike Pepe's Diner, this one was almost empty. 3 people in a booth were sipping hot beverages, and a man wearing a blue uniform and badge was sitting at the counter.
I bet he's the one in charge.
Allie thought.
Greetings! Are you the commander here?
She asked. The man looked up and laughed.
Me? I'm just a museum security guard. Ray's the one in charge around here.
He pointed at a man working inside the kitchen. Allie walked into the kitchen.
Greetings! I am Ali Zuba of Australia.
But there was so much noise from the grill and fan, the human named Ray didn't even turn around.
Excuse me?
Allie tapped him on the shoulder.
I am Ali Zuba of Australia. I have come to solve your woes, to do good deeds, and to spread great joy.
You don't sound like you're from Australia.
Ray shouted over the noise.
Not Australia, Australia.
Allie shouted back.
And I have come to do...
Look, Allie.
Ray wiped his brow.
Is it a job you want?
She nodded.
Well, I'll hire you.
Ray said.
I need help because I can't cook, wash dishes, and wait on customers by myself. My son usually helps me, but he's busy this summer with soccer camp. And I'll be honest, I can't pay you much. You'll have to work for tips.
You mean I can help you and get paid? In dollars?
It's not a lot. Nothing to get excited about.
Well, I am really excited.
Allie exclaimed. Ray smiled and grabbed an apron from a hook on the wall. He handed it to Allie and she put it on. Then he went over to pick up a plate with a triple-decker sandwich.
Here, take this.
Thanks!
Allie licked her lips. She was about to take a bite when Ray shouted.
No! What are you doing? That's for Phil at the counter.
Oh, this is for a customer to eat.
Allie realized. She headed out of the kitchen with the plate. But on the way out, she tripped.
Whoa!
The customers gasped as the sandwich slipped back and forth on the plate. Then, in the nick of time, Allie managed to catch her balance and save the sandwich.
Hooray!
The customers clapped. Allie smiled and took an Australian bow.
Some Earthlings are friendly, just as the computer said.
She thought. But others, like the waitress at Pepe's and the man with the furry animal, had treated her rather meanly.
No wonder humans also have a reputation for being dangerous.
She thought.
They're so unpredictable.
Plus, Earthlings had never made contact with an Australian before. So while Allie was here on Earth, she would have to be careful. Very careful. Allie on Earth. Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 5. Use maximum caution. After all the customers were gone, Ray handed Allie a sandwich.
Who's this for?
She asked.
You?
Ray said.
You're not earning much money. The least I can do is feed you.
Thanks!
Allie took a bite.
Delicious!
Ray sighed.
Glad someone likes my food.
Just then a boy around Allie's age walked in. Allie was about to hand him a menu, but the boy smiled.
I'm not a customer. I'm Mateo, Ray's son.
Hi, I'm Allie. I work here now.
Welcome to Ray's.
Mateo said.
Hey, Poppy, how was business today?
Not so good.
Ray replied.
Allie and I worked hard with just 2 of us, but that new place in town is stealing all my customers.
People are just going to Pepe's because it's new.
Mateo said.
Good food should be what people care about.
Ray muttered as he went into the storeroom.
He's right.
Mateo said.
And I bet our food is better than Pepe's.
The humans at Ray's are definitely better.
Allie thought. Suddenly, she spotted something familiar on Mateo's t-shirt.
Hey! Is that the Omega DZ-15 spaceship?
Mateo shrugged.
It's a model ship from the UFO museum. What's the Omega DZ whatever? I'm a space geek, but I've never heard of that.
It's the Galorpian Star Cruiser. They're a...
Allie?
Ray came out of the storeroom to tell her something.
I'm going to close up early. I'll understand if you don't want to come back tomorrow.
She blinked.
Did I do something wrong?
Not at all.
Ray said.
But with so few customers, you couldn't have made much money today.
Allie had already counted her tips.
Is $50 a lot?
Actually, that's not bad for a slow day.
Mateo said.
The customers must have liked you.
Come on, time to go home.
Ray turned out the lights and led the way out of the diner. Allie left the humans and returned to her shift, which was still hidden in the park. Once she was back inside, she slipped off her meld medallion. The computer whirred to life as she sat down.
Scanning area. Finding no new parts or fuel. Report.
I need to earn more money.
Allie said.
Calculate how much I need on this planet for new parts and fuel.
The computer clicked.
Calculating. $668.
Allie sighed.
It's going to take longer than I expected, but that's okay.
She added, thinking of Ray.
Australians are supposed to do lots of good deeds. Helping Ray will give me practice for real Australian missions.
Repeat warning.
The computer's lights flashed red.
Earthlings can be aggressive to beings from other planets. Use maximum caution.
When Allie arrived at the diner the next day, Ray and Mateo were eating breakfast.
You came back!
Ray sounded surprised.
Of course!
Allie said.
You sure you don't want me to stay and help today, Poppy?
Mateo asked. Ray shook his head.
Allie's here. Go have fun at soccer camp.
Mateo got up to leave, but he sat back down when 2 girls about his age walked in.
2 bagels to go.
One said without looking up from the comm device in her hand. While Allie got their order ready, she noticed Mateo and the other girl smiling shyly at each other. She thought.
Interesting.
Was there an opportunity here for another good deed? Allie quickly tucked her hair behind her ear. Then, as soon as the girls were gone, she turned to Mateo.
Do you know them?
Sort of. The one with the phone is Kate, and the cute one is Bethany.
Mateo blushed.
Well, Bethany thinks you're cute too!
Mateo laughed.
She does not.
She does!
Allie insisted.
I'm sure of it.
Mateo got a dreamy look on his face and seemed to float out of the diner.
I just made Mateo very happy.
Allie thought. Her parents might not think it was a big deal, but she felt very pleased. Just then, a customer walked in. She wore big glasses and had a beauty mark on her cheek. Allie hurried over.
What do you recommend?
The woman asked.
Ray's club sandwich is the best one in the universe!
Allie replied.
Even better than the ones on Formaria 12.
The woman looked confused.
Formaria 12? Where's that restaurant?
Allie gulped.
Nowhere. What would you like?
The woman peered at Allie and then shrugged.
Well, if you say the sandwich is that good, then that's what I'll have.
Phew!
Allie thought and hurried off to the kitchen. That had been a close call. Ali on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 6, In the Red. The next day when Ali got to work, Ray was in the office punching numbers into a small machine. Ali looked over his shoulder.
You made a mistake.
Ray glanced at a photo of a woman on the desk and sighed.
I've made more than one mistake.
I'm in your calculations. The total should be 9,789, not 7,989.
Wow,
Ray said.
You're good at math.
He entered the numbers into his machine again and then shook his head sadly.
You're also correct. Which means I'm even further in the red than I thought.
What's wrong with red?
Ali asked.
It's one of my favorite colors. I mean, I look better in blue and purple, but...
Her words trailed off when Ray shook his head.
In the red means you're losing money or not making a profit. It's bad news, Ali. I can't keep the diner open much longer.
Later, Ali wiped down the counters, thinking hard. There had to be a way to help Ray save his diner. But she couldn't get money for Ray. She needed too much of it herself. Another problem was that she knew so little about how things worked on this planet.
Wait a minute.
She reminded herself.
You're an Australian. And Australians solve huge problems in the universe. There has to be a way to use your astral mind to keep one tiny diner open.
Just then, an old woman using a cane entered.
I'll help you to a booth,
Ali said.
Aren't you sweet?
The old woman said. Ali got her settled and brought her a cup of tea. Next, Phil, the museum security guard, came in.
Coffee and an egg sandwich, over easy with salsa and lettuce, right?
Ali asked.
Yes.
Phil looked impressed.
You've only worked here for 3 days and you remember my order. But I have to take it to go today. It's going to be busy at the museum. A local professor, Dr. Cosmo Lloyd, is giving a lecture on alien sightings.
Ali gulped.
Alien sightings?
Not real ones.
Phil laughed.
Although some people think aliens are real. You know how the tourists and UFO fans are. They want to believe in life on other planets. I say it's all nonsense.
Ali forced a smile.
Crazy, right?
Oh, miss.
The old woman was waving to her.
I have a question.
Allie gave Phil's order to Ray and then went to the woman's table.
Yes?
I can't decide. Scrambled eggs or pancakes? Which is better here?
They're both delicious. How about we give you half orders of each?
That sounds perfect.
The old woman said.
You've solved my problem.
Allie gave a nervous laugh.
I've, got a special talent for solving problems.
That afternoon, Mateo came in for lunch. He was wearing a t-shirt that Allie hadn't seen before.
Nice shirt,
she said.
Thanks. It's one of my favorites. You can see all the details of Alpha Centauri.
That's not Alpha Centauri,
Allie said.
That's Beta Bergana.
Beta Bergana?
Mateo laughed.
That sounds like the name of a fancy burger, doesn't it, Poppy?
If we don't get more customers, there won't be any burgers.
Ray grumbled.
We'll think of a way to save the diner. Right, Allie?
Mateo said.
Absolutely!
Allie sounded more confident than she felt. When the old woman finished her meal, Allie helped her out the door.
Have a great day and come back to see us again.
Oh, I will.
The old woman winked.
I definitely will.
Well, that's one more loyal customer,
Allie thought. A short while later, Bethany and Kate came in and sat down at the counter near Mateo. Bethany grinned.
I have the same t-shirt.
Really?
Mateo blushed.
Are you into science fiction too?
It's like all she ever thinks about,
Kate said without looking away from her comm device. Bethany laughed nervously.
Well, it's not the only thing.
Allie wasn't trying to read Bethany's mind, but the girl's thoughts suddenly blared in her ear.
I think about you all the time.
That's right!
Allie blurted out.
Bethany also thinks about Mateo all the time!
Oh my gosh!
Kate said. Mateo and Bethany both turned bright red. Then Bethany grabbed Kate's hand and pulled her out of the diner.
Allie!
Mateo shouted after the girls were gone.
I can't believe you said that!
Allie blinked at him.
But it was true. And I was trying to do another good deed and help you.
Help me?
Mateo stared at her in disbelief.
That's not called help. It's called ruining everything.
He stormed out of the diner. Ali on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 7, An Accidental Trick. Early the next morning, the computer whirred to life.
Wake up. Time to report to work.
I'm not going.
Ali grumbled and yanked the covers over her head.
Irrational reply.
The computer said.
Need fuel and new parts for travel to Australia.
I can't go back to the diner. Mateo hates me.
Ali said.
Irrational reply.
The computer repeated.
An Australian never gives up on a mission.
Fine.
Ali got up and threw on her meld medallion.
I'll go find another job. Are you happy?
Irrational question.
The computer replied. Ali left the park and walked into town to look for a new job. But in order to get to some of the other businesses, she had to walk past Ray's.
I'll just run,
she thought. Then, as she got closer to the diner, she spotted Ray and Mateo out front. She ducked into a nearby alley.
Mateo, I insist.
Ray said.
You must go to camp today. The last few months have been hard enough on our family. I want you to have some fun.
I don't want you to be lonely, Poppy. Besides, if Allie has quit, it's all my fault.
I doubt you're the reason she didn't show up today.
Ray said.
With so few customers, she couldn't make enough money here. I'm sure she found a better paying job.
Mateo sighed.
I shouldn't have yelled at her. Especially since I finally got up the nerve to text Bethany. Because of Allie, I invited Bethany to the sci-fi convention at the UFO Museum next week. And she said yes!
That's great, son.
Ray wrapped an arm around Mateo's shoulder and led him back inside. Allie ran a hand through her hair.
Mateo's not mad at me anymore.
She thought.
And Ray needs my help. Maybe.
A minute later, she strolled into the diner as if nothing had ever happened.
I'm sorry I'm late,
You're back,
Ray said.
I'm sorry I yelled at you, Allie.
Mateo said.
I was just embarrassed in front of Bethany.
Allie waved her hand.
I've already forgotten about it. Don't you have a camp to get to, Mateo?
Yes,
he said.
And thanks to you, I've also got a date with Bethany.
Later in the day, customers began to trickle in. There was a family of 4 who ordered burgers, fries, and milkshakes. There was also a woman with bright red hair, rhinestone glasses, and a leopard print dress. Phil came running in.
Just a coffee to go. I've got to get back to the museum. There's a big alien hunting crowd over there today.
What?
Allie's stomach turned to knots. She tried to read Phil's mind, but all she could see was a donut.
You know, a huge tour group,
Phil said.
They come to the museum thinking they'll find proof of aliens and UFOs and try to track them down. Can you imagine?
Allie gave a little laugh.
Nope.
Then she handed Phil his coffee and a donut.
Here, it's on the house.
Chocolate! My favorite! How'd you know?
Phil asked. She shrugged.
Lucky guess.
Allie put some of her tip money in the cash register to pay for Phil's donut. Then she went to serve the woman in the leopard print dress.
Do you know what you'd like?
I wish I did.
The woman stared at the menu.
Let's see if I can help,
Allie said. She quickly scanned the woman's thoughts and saw a plate of eggs with spicy salsa.
How about Ray's huevos rancheros? That's 2 fried eggs on a crispy tortilla, salsa, and cheese.
The woman's face lit up.
That's exactly what I've been craving. I didn't see it on the menu, but you read my mind.
Ten minutes later, Allie was crossing the dining room with the woman's order and trying not to think about what Phil had said. It sounded like some humans actually hunted for aliens.
I'm in more danger than I realized,
Allie thought. She hadn't been looking where she was going.
Maybe I'd better. Oops!
As Allie slammed into an empty table, the plate of eggs flew up into the air. Instinctively, Allie activated her levitating ability. The plate froze, floating in midair.
Heck!
She thought.
I shouldn't have done that.
Allie quickly grabbed the plate and looked around to see if anyone had spotted her trick. The woman in the leopard print dress was looking right at her. When Allie met her eyes, the woman quickly looked away. Allie on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 8, The Perfect Meal. Allie delivered the huevos rancheros to the woman and then ducked into the kitchen, trying not to panic. But the customer had seen her levitation ability. And now the woman was typing rapidly into her comm device.
What if she's one of those alien hunters?
Allie thought.
She might try to trap me and put me in the Sandville UFO Museum!
Allie peeked out, watching the woman as she took a few bites of food, and then put her fork down. She typed some more, casting her eyes all around the diner every once in a while. Allie was trying to read the woman's mind when a couple entered the diner. Allie sighed and went out to greet them.
Do you have room for us?
The woman asked. Allie gestured around the nearly empty diner.
We sure do.
Great,
the man said.
There are 12 of us.
Allie's eyes went wide.
12?
We went to Pepe's first, but they said it would be a long wait.
Oh, well, sit wherever you'd like, and I'll be right back to take your orders.
Allie scurried to the office.
Ray!
She squealed.
12 people just walked in!
When she returned to the dining room with water for the new customers, they were chattering away to one another.
Lecture on extraterrestrial life forms.
The foremost authority on other galaxies.
No one knows more about the study of aliens.
They're talking about that alien expert.
Allie realized. Her heart sank. These customers must be alien hunters too. Then, to Allie's horror, the woman in the leopard print dress stood up and approached some people in the group. Allie dashed back into the kitchen.
She's telling them she saw me levitate that plate!
Allie thought.
Oh no! What if they tell Dr. Lloyd about me?
She closed her eyes for a second, thinking about running away. But then her eyes landed on Ray, who was heating up a grill.
I can't abandon Ray,
she thought.
And an Australian never gives up. If the woman tells people she thinks I'm an alien, I'll just deny it. Ray will defend me.
When Allie went to take the new customers' orders, the woman in the leopard print dress was gone. Allie took a deep breath.
What would you like?
She asked.
I'll have huevos rancheros,
the first diner said.
Me too.
Me 3.
We all want huevos rancheros,
the first diner said.
Everyone?
Allie asked.
Yes,
the man went on.
Another customer was raving about them. She told us they couldn't be missed.
Is that all the woman was telling them?
Allie thought.
I hope so. 12 orders of huevos rancheros coming right up.
She rushed to the kitchen. Exactly 1 hour later, 12 satisfied customers filed out of the diner. None of them seemed to suspect a thing about Allie, and they all promised to come back with their friends and families soon. Allie blew out a breath.
If even half of them come back,
she murmured,
and bring about 2 people with them, and then those 2 people return and bring 2 more, that's...
Oh, good.
Mateo rushed into the diner.
She's not here yet.
Who?
Allie asked.
It's no big deal.
Mateo tried to sound casual.
Bethany's going to swing by to hang out.
Swing by to hang out?
Allie gazed up at the ceiling. Were they going to hang from the light fixtures or something?
Yeah, you know, to talk and have a bite to eat.
Oh!
Allie exclaimed. She shook her head. She would never get used to the weird things humans said.
And I have you to thank for it, Allie.
Mateo went on.
If you hadn't said what you said, I'd never have gotten up the nerve to text Bethany.
Allie tossed her hair proudly.
I like to do good deeds.
By the time Bethany and Kate arrived, Allie felt herself relaxing, just a little. The customer in the leopard print dress had just been telling the other customers about Ray's good food. That was all.
You've got nothing to worry about,
she told herself firmly.
except new parts and fuel.
A second later, a mother and daughter entered.
2 muffins to go, please,
the mother said. As Allie handed the muffins to the woman, the little girl peered at her.
Look, Mommy! It's that alien from the park!
Allie on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 9, A Crashing Comet? Allie froze. The new customers were the mother and little girl who'd spotted her at the park right after her landing.
I'm not an alien,
Allie blurted.
it's your word against mine.
The mother looked confused.
I mean...
Allie tried to laugh it off.
Just kidding. Beep, beep, boop.
She made a few strange sounds.
Okay, I'm an alien.
The little girl laughed at Allie's funny alien imitation.
See, Mommy? I told you she was an alien. Can we bring Grandpa Lloyd here so he can see her too?
Come along, honey.
The mother said as she led her daughter out of the diner.
We'll be late for Grandpa's lecture.
They were finally gone, but Allie could still feel her heart pounding in her chest. She went over to the counter to refill some salt shakers, but she was so rattled, she spilled salt all over the place. She was cleaning it up when Ray called from the kitchen.
Allie!
He sounded mad.
I need to speak with you.
Oh no, what now?
She thought, going into the kitchen.
I think it's time you found a new job,
Ray said sternly. Allie's eyes filled with tears.
Is it because of what the little girl said? I promise you, I'm not what you think, Ray. I mean, I am, but I was only trying to do good deeds and restore peaceful balance here.
Ray scratched his head.
What?
Never mind. Why do I have to leave?
Allie asked.
I can't afford to keep the diner open any longer,
Ray explained.
I'm shutting down.
But we were so busy today. You can't give up now, Ray!
One good day isn't going to save me, Allie.
Oh my gosh!
Kate cried. Allie and Ray raced into the dining room.
What's wrong?
Ray cried. Kate looked up from her phone.
Have you ever heard of Gourmet Greta?
No,
Ray said.
Well, she's the hottest food blogger there is. I follow her on all my socials. A review from Gourmet Greta can make or break a restaurant.
a big-time restaurant critic is never going to come to Sandville to review a diner,
Ray said.
She already has!
Kate said.
Look!
She held up her comm device to show them a posting. Ray's Diner, out of this world or crashing comet. Bethany frowned.
I don't get it. Is that a good review or a bad one?
Greta likes to keep the reader guessing until the last line of her review. She never gives away anything in the titles.
Kate said. Worry knitted Ray's brow.
I don't think I want to hear this.
Kate smiled.
Yes, you do.
She read aloud.
Ray's Diner, located near Sandville's famous UFO museum, is full of surprises. Though the decor is simple, there's nothing plain about the food or the service. Everything I ate there was delicious. And the service is unmatched. There's only one waitress, and she's sweet, funny, and always seems to have a surprise up her sleeve.
Whether she's suggesting exactly the right dish to customers or performing entertaining tricks, she always adds to the fun. If you're looking for great food and hospitality, head to Ray's Diner A+ rating!
Mateo cheered.
You're a hit, Poppy!
But Allie was confused.
I don't recall serving any restaurant critics.
Gourmet Greta dresses up in disguises, so nobody knows she's reviewing the restaurant.
Kate explained.
But she includes a photo in her reviews. It has hints of what she wore to the restaurant.
Allie examined the photo in the review.
The hints are big eyeglasses, a cane, and a leopard print dress! I served this woman 3 different times!
Wait, there's more!
Bethany read from her own comm device.
The only thing Ray's is missing to attract more customers is a theme. Ray, if you want Greta's advice, remember that you're the closest restaurant to the museum. So a UFO or space theme would be a perfect fit.
Awesome idea!
Mateo said. Ray lifted his eyebrows.
It might work.
Can I help with new decorations?
Bethany asked.
Yes.
Mateo's cheeks turned red again.
I'll help too!
Kate said.
I'm really good at shopping.
Let's get to work,
Ray said. Allie stood back, watching as the others started planning the restaurant makeover. She was happy that Ray's Diner might be saved after all, but now she herself needed help.
If the little girl brings Dr. Cosmo Lloyd to the diner,
Allie thought.
I'm in trouble! Meteor-sized trouble!
Allie on Earth, Ali Zuba of Australia. Chapter 10, Blast Off.
How's that?
Allie asked as she finished hanging a model of Earth's solar system from the ceiling.
Great!
Mateo said.
We're ready for our grand reopening.
Not if Kate doesn't get back with the new menus,
Ray said.
She just texted me.
Bethany said.
She'll be here soon.
Allie gulped. She'd been relieved when the diner had closed for a week to prepare for the reopening. There'd been no chance of Dr. Lloyd coming in with his granddaughter. But today was a different story. The two of them could enter at any moment.
Guess it's time to fire up the grill,
Ray said. When Allie looked at him, she thought she saw tears in his eyes.
Thank you for all your help,
he said.
I couldn't have done it without you. Especially you, Allie.
You're the one who makes the delicious food,
she said.
New menus, hot off the press.
Kate came running in the back door and handed a menu to everyone.
The cosmic omelet sounds great.
Bethany said.
So does the Beta Bergana,
Mateo said with a grin. Allie glanced at the main door.
It's time to open up!
But when Mateo unlocked the door, no one was waiting to come in. The street out front was completely deserted. Ray came out of the kitchen wringing his apron.
No one's here.
Don't worry, Poppy. They'll come,
Mateo said.
Uh-oh.
Allie thought. But only seconds later, something amazing happened. A large bus with the words Space Life Tours pulled up. The door to the bus opened, and a large group of humans began to pile out. The bus driver introduced herself.
We run buses full of tourists every day to the UFO Museum. We read Gourmet Greta's review and decided to bring our passengers here instead of Pepe's. I hope that's all right with you folks.
It's fantastic!
Allie said. The diner got busier by the hour. Carloads of people kept arriving, saying they'd read the review and couldn't wait to try the food.
Gourmet
Gourmet Greta has never steered us wrong,
said one customer after the other. Mateo, Kate, and Bethany all jumped in to help take orders and clear tables. Allie looked around the packed dining room.
I'm glad I didn't give up.
She thought.
After I buy the fuel and parts, I'll go home knowing I've accomplished something important.
Late in the afternoon, things were quiet enough for Allie to take a break.
This would look so good on you!
Kate showed Allie an outfit on her phone.
You should totally buy it.
I can't. I have to save money for parts and... Never mind.
Before Kate could ask what she meant, an older man who wore glasses and had a stern expression walked in.
Welcome to Ray's!
Allie greeted him.
Would you like to sit in a booth or at the counter?
The man peered at her.
I didn't come to eat. I came to see you. My granddaughter Pearl insisted that I come here and see you myself.
He handed Allie his business card. Dr. Cosmo Lloyd, alien life expert. Allie's heart began to race.
What should I do?
She thought.
I can't escape because my pod needs fuel. I'll just have to surrender and hope he treats me well.
Allie sighed.
You found out my true identity. So?
She held her hands out for him to handcuff her, but Dr. Lloyd burst into loud laughter.
Pearl told me you were very funny, and she was right. I came to ask if I can have my weekly meetings of the Sandville Astronomy Club here. There are about 20 of us, and we'd come every Wednesday.
Oh!
Allie was delighted.
Of course! I mean, if Ray says it's okay.
Ray stepped forward to shake Dr. Lloyd's hand.
It would be my pleasure.
That night, Allie went to her pod and counted up all the money she'd earned so far.
Alpha! I've earned almost enough money for fuel and parts.
Goal will soon be accomplished,
the computer replied. It went silent for a second before a blue light started blinking.
Detecting unhappiness.
Yes.
Allie sighed.
I mean, I'm happy that I've done so many good deeds for humans. That'll prove to my parents that I am ready for a real mission. But I'll be sad to leave Earth. I kind of like it here.
Advice. Play favorite song,
the computer said.
Great idea!
Allie jumped up and danced her sadness away.